center of the stage right now with our commencement speaker and President Emeritus Reif to the right there. The final faculty are just about to ascend to their seats on the stage, and in just a couple of moments we're going to be turning the program over to the corporation chair, to the president, and our guest speakers. Okay, it's been a pleasure being with you once again, Deb. We hope everybody enjoys the ceremony today, and of course we'll be back tomorrow live with the undergraduate ceremony.
Again, thank you very much. We wish you well this afternoon here from Cambridge, and congratulations to all the family and friends of the 2024 graduates of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
The corporation and the faculty of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology are now declared convened. Together with this assembly, on the occasion of the OneMIT Commencement Ceremony of this institution and in recognition of the degrees being conferred on the class of 2024. The stage assembly and audience will please remain standing for the invocation by Reverend Thea Keith Lucas, chaplain to the Institute, and join the choraries of MIT in singing of one verse of the Star-Spangled Banner.
One day, I stood in lobby 10 and watched people rush down the corridor, solving for the quickest route from point A to point B. Sometimes we move through the world, but do not join it. We stay behind the high tower walls of ourselves and only hear the echo back of our own hopes and fears. We put on our headphones and live inside the tiny rooms we have built between stereo right and stereo left, our own stories whispered into our ears, unheard by the strangers we pass in the halls. I want to bless the moments when the clock stops and the machine of productivity lurches to a halt, when the path of your day spools out towards the infinite and your humanity awakens. Can you feel your soul leaving its slumber and stretching out, ready for a new day? Can you hear the melody of your heart rise, like birds trilling at the rosy aurora of dawn. Come, crack open the window and let the sound flow out into the space between you and your neighbor. Hear how it creates an unexpected harmony, a new song of creativity that does not belong to you or to me, but dances between us. Imagine the thread that ties you to all the people you know and love, like a satin ribbon that you can pull through your hand. We have a choice. We can wrap it tighter and tighter around the spindle of some perfect core of truth, or we can open ourselves to the chaos and the beauty of unexpected connection. We can let our souls fly free together.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. It's my privilege to welcome to the stage our guest speaker, Dr. Noubar Afeyan. We're also pleased to welcome our alumni celebrating their 50th reunion in their red jackets. In their red jackets for the first time, the class of 1974. Now you were juniors and seniors when, I looked up to you. I was a freshman and sophomore at MIT then. So let me just say, I know your hair was a little bit longer, but I know you're just as brilliant and you're just as mischievous as I remember, and your eyes and your smiles are just as bright. Welcome back to MIT. And now I have the honor of introducing you to our commencement speaker. Noubar Afeyan has built his remarkable career by trusting his crazy ideas, and he thinks you should trust yours too. Born in Lebanon to Armenian parents, he emigrated with them to Canada. Later, after graduating from McGill with a degree in chemical engineering, he made his way to MIT. In the late 1980s, Noubar earned a PhD here in biochemical engineering, just as the Boston biotech was just beginning to boom. And after taking his way into the class in corporate entrepreneurship, Noubar was often running, on his way to a career that embodied the kind of bold, science-based problem-solving and fearless creativity we all think of as very MIT. A brilliant and charismatic teacher, he taught for 16 years at the MIT Sloan School, and as well, he taught at another business school on the Charles up the river. A scientist, an inventor, a member of the National Academy of Engineering, Dr. Afeyan holds more than 100 patents. A parallel entrepreneur who founded and leads Flagship Pioneering, he has co-founded more than 70 life science and technology startups. His first biotech company was in 1987, right after he graduated from MIT. His most famous company, where he is still chairman today, is Moderna, whose path-breaking messenger RNA vaccine was instrumental in helping turn back the pandemic of COVID-19. And in his spare time, yes, please. And in his spare time, Noubar has also built an extraordinary record as a humanitarian, including co-founding the Aurora Prize for Awakening Humanity. He's also served MIT in many ways, including as a member of our corporation executive committee. I've therefore had the pleasure of being in many meetings with him, and every time I am amazed by his clarity and his vision and his strategic thinking. When Noubar speaks, people stop and want to listen. So I know we're in for a real treat today. Please join me in offering a warm welcome to Dr. Noubar Afeyan.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mark, for that generous but somewhat embarrassing introduction. President Kornbluth, trustees and faculty, students and families, alumni, and members of this remarkable community of scholars and solvers. It's a special honor to be with you today. Graduates, I once sat where you now sit, brimming with excitement and the sense of accomplishment that comes with a hard-won MIT diploma. Congratulations to all of you. Families, as the father of two MIT alums, Talene and Lena, I know firsthand the pride and emotion you feel today. Faculty members, as a senior lecturer here for 16 years, I saw up close how well you prepare these graduates for what lies ahead. And fellow trustees, it is a great privilege to serve alongside you. I spent my childhood in Beirut, Lebanon. 3 generations of my proud Armenian family shared an apartment on the 9th floor of our building. The window in the bedroom I shared with my great aunt looked out over the red-tiled roofs of Roman, Ottoman, and Byzantine buildings, and beyond to the Mediterranean Sea. When civil war erupted in 1975 and the government imposed strict curfews, the state broadcaster often shifted from airing 3 hours of TV a day to offering round-the-clock programming of mostly American television shows. A diversion for my brothers and me when we were forced to stay inside. One show in particular had me captivated. Just hearing the theme song would set my heart racing. Perhaps you know it too. That's right, Mission Impossible. Even if you never saw the TV show, you likely know the movies, with Tom Cruise as Agent Ethan Hunt. The encoded self-destructing message to the agents always began the same way: your mission, should you choose to accept it. No matter how long the odds or how great the risk, the agents always took the assignments. In the 50 years since, I have been consistently drawn to impossible missions, and today I hope to convince each and every one of you that you should be too. Class of 2024, one incredibly challenging mission is already under your belt. You were given the assignment to begin your studies at MIT without being at MIT. Going to college without going to college was not a mission you'd signed up for, but it is what you got. A handful of you did move to campus, but even for you, masking, testing, social distancing, and virtual classes meant orienting to a foreign land. You even learned a new language as terms like Q Week and Scuffy entered your MIT lexicon. No one knew what would happen next or when it would end. And yet, you found ways to thrive. You dove into your coursework and started to build mostly virtual friendships. In the words of your classmate, Amber Velez, who rented a Cambridge apartment with 3 MIT roommates, you patched together a little lifeboat in this vast sea of students spread out all over the world. Earlier that year, just up the road in Kendall Square, my colleagues and I at Moderna had received another mission that seemed impossible. Develop a safe and effective vaccine that could save lives, restart the economy, and do so in less than a year. Oh, and while you're at it, get 1 billion doses manufactured, distribute them around the world, and get them into the arms of people. It was clear that if we accepted this challenge, it would take everything we had. We would have to slow 20 ongoing drug development projects and focus on solving COVID. We embraced this mission, and I'm so proud that my colleague and friend, Professor Langer, is here. He was a main driver of this as well. Just 48 hours after Moderna obtained the sequence for the SARS-CoV-2 spike protein, we deployed our mRNA technology to produce a potent vaccine. Less than 2 months later, we enrolled the first patient in a clinical trial. And on November 16th, the vaccine was determined to be 94.5% effective against COVID-19. By some estimates, Moderna's vaccine saved over 2 million lives during the pandemic. How did we do it? Well, that's another speech for another day. But what I do want to talk about is what it takes to accept your own impossible missions and why you, as graduates of MIT, are uniquely prepared to do so. Uniquely prepared and also obligated. At a time when the world is beset by crises, your mission is nothing less than to salvage what seems lost, reverse what seems inevitable, and save the planet. And just like the agents in the movies, you need to accept the mission even if it seems impossible. I know the odds don't appear to be in your favor, but this age of poly-crisis is also a moment of poly-opportunity, fueled by artificial intelligence, machine learning, quantum computing, and other modern technologies that are changing the world faster than people believe is possible. Now you are uniquely equipped to turn science fiction into science reality. With the right mindsets, Mission Impossible can become Mission Improbable as you overcome obstacles and seemingly long odds by imagining and innovating your way to novel solutions. So how do you go about doing that? How do you become the agents the world needs you to be starting from today? Well, you already have a head start, quite a significant one. You graduate today from MIT, and that says volumes about your knowledge, talent, vision, passion, and perseverance, all essential attributes of the elite 21st century agent. Oh, and I forgot to mention our relaxed, uncompetitive nature, our outstanding social skills, and the overall coolness that characterizes each and every MIT grad. But more seriously, you are trained in science, mathematics, engineering, and technology, fields that, when properly harnessed and supported, can be deployed against almost any seemingly impossible challenge. You may not realize it yet, but your MIT education has given you a superpower, like X-ray vision, that lets you see through the illusion of impossibility and surface the blueprints for solutions. And as of today, you even have a secret decoder ring, better known as the brass rat. MIT's history underscores these special powers. The telephone, digital circuits, radar, email, internet, the Human Genome Project, controlled drug delivery, magnetic confinement fusion energy, artificial intelligence, and all that is enabling. These and many more breakthroughs emerged from the work of extraordinary change agents tied to MIT. Now let me ask you a question. Aside from MIT, what do such agents have in common? What equips them to accomplish seemingly impossible missions? I'd argue they do three things that make leaps possible. They imagine, they innovate, and they immigrate. And now it's your turn. Start by unleashing your imagination. People often see imagination as the exclusive province of the arts, of movie making, of literature, painting. I think that's nonsense. Imagination, to my mind, is the foundational building block of breakthrough science. I'm not making an argument against reason, let alone at MIT. Reason has a role to play, but in accomplishing impossible missions, it's the servant, not the master. You can't expect reasoning to do the work of imagination. At its best, scientific research is a profoundly creative endeavor. You have mastered proofs, problem sets, and design projects, but in the words of mathematician and author Lewis Carroll, imagination is the only weapon in the war with reality. To the great Irish writer George Bernard Shaw, its role is even more fundamental. As he put it, imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire, you will what you imagine, and at last you create what you will. It is also your turn to innovate. Think of innovation as imagination in action. Or perhaps mens in manus, or mind in hand. But I hear that line's already taken. MIT did not prepare you to shy away from the unknown, quite the contrary. You are now prepared to leap for the stars, sometimes quite literally. Just ask the more than 40 NASA astronauts with MIT degrees. Leaps often involve unreasonable or even seemingly crazy ideas. Ordinary innovations are often judged by how reasonable the idea is and an extension of what already exists, and how reasonable the person proposing it is. But ask yourself one central question. Why do we expect extraordinary results from reasonable people doing reasonable things? As you've probably guessed by now, I'm utterly unreasonable and an eternal optimist. As a lifelong entrepreneur and innovator, I have to be. But I've always practiced a special kind of optimism. I call it paranoid optimism. This means toggling back and forth between extreme optimism and deep-seated doubt. The kind of paranoid optimism needed to make scientific or technological leaps often starts with an act of faith. By that I mean belief without facts, the very definition of faith. Now, I know faith is generally associated with religion, but interestingly, in my experience, pioneering science also starts with faith. You take leaps of faith, and then you do experiments, and on rare occasions, the experiments work, converting your leap of faith into scientific reality. What a thrill when that happens. On your innovation journey, beyond optimism and faith, you will also need the courage of your convictions. Make no mistake, you leave MIT as special agents in demand. As you consider your many options, I urge you to think hard about what legacy you want to leave, and to do this periodically throughout your life. Not every mission you are qualified for is a mission worth accepting. You are far more than technologists. You are moral actors. The choice to maximize solely for profits and power will, in the end, leave you hollow. To forget this is to fail the world and ultimately to fail yourself. I know many of you here, and some in the class of 2024, not with us here today, are deeply troubled by the conflicts and tragedies we are witnessing. As an Armenian descended from genocide survivors and co-founder of the Aurora Humanitarian Initiative, I feel deeply the wounds of these conflicts. I wish I had answers for all of us, but of course I don't. But I do know this: having conviction should not be confused with having all the answers. Over my many years engaged in entrepreneurship and humanitarian philanthropy, I have learned that there's enormous benefit in questioning what you think you know, listening to people who think differently, and seeking common ground. As you grapple with today's hard choices and the many that lie ahead, rely again on your imagination. Imagine the world you want to create and work backwards from there. Be open to the many paths that could carry you towards this goal, and let the journey inform which ones will succeed. Now, I've urged you to imagine and to innovate. The last thing I want to leave you with is the need to immigrate. I'll say more about what I mean by immigrate in a second, but first, I want to give a shout out to others who, like me, have left their homelands. For those of you who have, thank you. For those of you who have emigrated here from far away, or whose parents did, or whose grandparents did, please stand. I applaud you. It may often feel like a disadvantage, but you will soon learn it is quite the opposite. When I first arrived at MIT, I worried I did not belong here. I spoke with an accent, I still speak with a little accent. My pastime wasn't hockey or lacrosse, but it was Armenian folk dance. Then one afternoon, late in my first year here, I was walking down the infinite corridor when a poster caught my eye. Staring back from the poster was a Native American chief in full headdress, eyes defiant, fingers pointed seemingly right at me. The poster read, "Who are you calling immigrant, pilgrim?" I can't tell you what an impact that had on me. Aside from Native Americans, we all at some point come from somewhere else. It helped me realize that I belonged here at MIT, in the United States. And graduates and families, you do too. But here's the really interesting thing that I've learned over the years. You need not be from elsewhere to immigrate. If the immigrant experience can be described as leaving familiar circumstances and being dropped into unknown territory, I would argue that every one of you also arrived at MIT as an immigrant, no matter where you grew up. And as immigrants, you are all at an advantage when it comes to impossible missions. Why? You've left your comfort zone. You've entered uncharted territory. You've forgone the safety of the familiar. Yet you persist and you survive. You figure out how to accomplish your mission. Like elite agents, immigrants are the ultimate innovators, equipped to navigate obstacles, to never say never. In fact, I often describe innovation as intellectual immigration. Just like those of us who emigrate from other countries, innovators pioneer new environments, seeking a better future, not just for themselves, but also for the larger world. So, whether you grew up in Cambodia, or in California, or right here in Cambridge, you can immigrate. You need to keep immigrating. You need to leave your comfort zone, to think in new ways, to acclimate to the unfamiliar, and embrace uncertainty. If you imagine, innovate, and immigrate, you are destined to a life of uncertainty. Being surrounded by uncertainty can definitely be unnerving. But it's where you need to be. This is where the treasure lies. It's ground zero for breakthroughs. Don't conflate uncertainty as risk, or think of it as extreme risk. Uncertainty isn't high risk. It's unknown risk. It is, in the essence, opportunity. Now, I began with a show. I'll end with a movie. The most recent Mission Impossible film released just last summer. The film is a daunting reminder of all that your generation is up against. Complicated geopolitics, climate and technological pressures, and AI tools that will both simplify and complicate our world. But graduates, as I look at all of you, I see a large team of agents who are entirely capable of completing your missions. I see agents for good, agents for change. MIT has prepared you to tackle impossible missions, to harness the future and bend it towards the light. My wish for you, my fervent hope, is that you not only choose to accept impossible missions, but you embrace them. Welcome long odds, embrace uncertainty, and lead with imagination. Approach the unknown with the courage, the confidence, and the curiosity of an immigrant, with paranoia and optimism. And always remember the strength of working in teams. Show the world why Mission Impossible teams, inevitably shorthands for MIT. Graduates, set forth on your impossible missions, accept them, embrace them. The world needs you, and it's your turn to star in the action adventure called your life. Thank you.
Noubar, thank you for such an inspiring talk. Thank you for picking up the mission when it was in front of you to do so much good for society. And by the way, thank you for bringing the sun out today. Here we are. It's going to be a fantastic day. Lieutenant Michaela Nicole Molina is president of the Graduate Student Council, and she will now give a salute from the graduate student body. Following this, Ms. Penny Brandt, president of the undergraduate class of 2024. There's some Penny fans here. Will offer a salute, after which President Kornbluth will deliver her charge to the graduates. Michaela?
Good afternoon, esteemed faculty, proud families, friends, and most importantly, my fellow graduates of MIT. Today, as we gather to celebrate this monumental achievement, I am honored to represent the graduate students as a former president of the Graduate Student Council. As graduate students, we often move unseen, deeply immersed in our fields of study. We tend to under-celebrate our accomplishments, perhaps because our work often pushes us to constantly look at what is next and all the questions that remain unanswered. I urge us all not to let this accomplishment be another that passes without remark. A professor here in mechanical engineering, who, among friends I won't name, started many of his lectures by stating that there are two kinds of people in the world. Today, please allow me to steal his line and point out that there are two kinds of people in the world: those who have not graduated from MIT and those who have. I think he would agree that it is worth pausing work to celebrate joining the latter group. It is crucial to acknowledge that while our degrees bear our names, the journey to this moment has hardly been solitary. We have been part of an intricate web of support, mentors who guided us, peers who challenged us, families who sustained us, and friends who have lifted our spirits. Yet it is equally important to recognize that the drive, the countless hours of study and research, and the resilience in the face of seemingly insurmountable obstacles, those were all you. Though we did not do this alone, no one did it for us. Holding a degree from an institution as esteemed as MIT is a privilege. You could say that it is a great power that comes with great responsibility. Now, more than ever, the world is looking for leaders and innovators it can trust. We are equipped not just with knowledge and skills, but with the power to influence, innovate, and inspire change. We are the new stewards of technology, policy, and science, and we are well equipped to tackle the problems that will define our generation. Let us step forward from today with a commitment not only to further our own goals, but also to use our skills and knowledge to contribute positively to our communities and the world. May our actions reflect the excellence and integrity that MIT has instilled in us. I urge us all to take a moment to truly appreciate what we have accomplished and to embrace the exciting challenges that lie ahead. We will further be building the legacy of MIT and honoring everyone who helped us reach this point.
Good afternoon, families, friends, guests, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2024. I am beyond honored to be here with you today, and like to take this time to reflect on three things that I'm most thankful for. Firstly, I'm thankful for my family and support community, for their unconditional trust that allowed me to explore my curiosity starting at a young age. I know this may be the case for you too, and that without the support of many people here today, we would not be here. Secondly, I'm thankful for the difficult obstacles that we encountered along the way. For me, I think of the challenges that I faced when moving to the US at age 11 and learning English. Every one of us here have overcome great obstacles. And without the strength and trust we gained in ourselves through the process, we would not be here today. And thirdly, and most importantly, I am thankful for all of you. When I first arrived in Cambridge 4 years ago, the city felt like a big maze shrouded in snow of stark, brutalist architecture of concrete buildings and metal pipes. I expected my time at MIT to be similarly solitary. And in fact, I even considered transferring out during my first year due to the intense academic pressure. However, thanks to all of you, this is not the case today. I can confidently say that none of the achievements I've had at MIT are by myself. I encourage all of you to look around at your peers and just think of one way that they helped you in your MIT journey. For me, I think of the many 4 a.m. problem sets I wouldn't have finished if not for the supportive friends cheering me on. It's the many late-night conversations in our living communities that guide me through difficult life situations. I know I would not be graduating here today if not for all of you who have helped me along the way. You all have had such a profound and positive impact on me, our community, and the world. I'd now like to invite the class of 2024 to participate in a long-standing MIT tradition with me. I'd like all of you to take out your MIT class ring, the brass rat or the grad rat. Take the ring off and turn it over so that the beaver is now facing the world instead of facing you. To me, this represents a transition where we take the memories, lessons, and spirit of the MIT community and bring them with us to the world. With this turn, I now give all of you my unconditional trust that you will do good for the world. I cannot wait to see all the amazing things you'll create in the coming decades of our lives. Congratulations again to the class of 2024.
Penny and Michaela, thank you both for your reflections today and for your leadership in our community. Good afternoon, everyone. It is customary on this day of celebration for the president to deliver a charge to the graduating class. Wow, thank you, really thank you. All right. In a year when there's been so much campus turmoil, I may not be able to offer you either advice or inspiration, but I would like to acknowledge a few things that I've learned since I came to MIT 17 months ago. And I want to start by addressing your parents and your families. As all of you know, the education we offer students is famous for its depth and its rigor. And we're proud of the bursting satchel of skills and knowledge that every MIT graduate carries out into the world. But the truth is that the young people you sent us, whom you trusted us to educate and care for, were remarkable before we even met them. You certainly know this about them as individuals, and you know the specific challenges they had to overcome. For some of you, the young person whose graduation you're here to celebrate is the first in your family to go to college. For some, coming here meant leaving home many thousands of miles away. For some, it meant overcoming language barriers or personal hardships. Some faced all the normal rigors of the MIT curriculum on top of family responsibilities and even tragic losses. You also know their individual achievements, how much they learned and grew and stretched and pushed themselves long before they came to MIT. You know how delightful and inspiring and thoughtful they are. And I expect at least most of you know the particular thrill of the day you realized that they now understood things that you just cannot understand. The day when it would be no longer possible for you, even theoretically, to help them with their homework. So you know them well as exceptional individuals. But at MIT, we also get to see them all together. Taken together in their critical mass, they are a natural wonder, as awe-inspiring as a visitation of 17-year cicadas, as miraculous as a total eclipse of the sun. It's been our privilege to teach them and to learn together with them, and we share with you the highest hopes for what they will do next. Now, to those of you graduating today, with the exception of a few master's students, nearly all of you have been part of the MIT community longer than I have. You know its culture and quality so well that they may not stand out to you anymore. But I've spent my whole career in higher education, and I have never seen a community quite like this one. A community founded on wonder and wondering why. A community whose version of March Madness is 1,000 people staring upward, spontaneously sharing the wondrous sight of a solar eclipse, and actually being able to explain it. A community that runs on an irrepressible combination of curiosity and creativity and drive. A community in which everyone you meet has something important to teach you. A community in which people expect excellence of themselves and take great care of one another. I have no doubt that you're tired of hearing how resilient you are because of the pandemic, but I mention that long drawn-out challenge as another illustration of what it means to be part of this particular community. A community that fought the virus with the tools of measurement and questioning and analysis and self-discipline, and was therefore able to pursue its mission almost undeterred. A community that understands in a deep way that the vaccines, as Noubar just said, were not some overnight miracle, but rather the final flowering of decades of work by thousands of people pushing the boundaries of fundamental science. A place that does not shy away from complexity. A place that embraces the hardest problems. You may not ever find another community like it, but I hope you'll keep us in mind as you design and invent creative communities of your own. All of you graduating here today have been tested by the repercussions of a relentless virus, by societal upheaval here, and by violent conflict and the most terrible human suffering abroad. And of course, you have been tested many, many, many times by the faculty of MIT. And MIT, an education is sort of a test of endurance, a grand P-set made of P-sets, a test made of tests. MIT is famous for testing its students, but you have tested us too from the moment you arrived to the present. You have tested our systems, our assumptions, our practices. You've revealed places where our understanding may fall short. You've shown us that we need to reflect more deeply and be willing to assess and reconsider long-held beliefs. In short, the institute you are graduating from is, thanks in part to you, always reflecting, always changing, and I take that as your charge to us. So thank you, congratulations, and best wishes to each of you for a wonderful future.
President Kornbluth, thank you for an incredibly inspiring charge, and thank you for being here. It's now my pleasure to introduce Robert Wickham, the Chief Marshal, who will greet the graduates. Mr. Wickham is a two-time graduate of MIT himself, currently serving as the president of the MIT Alumni Association. Robert?
It is my honor to recognize the class of 2024, the newest alumni of MIT. The entire alumni body, nearly 147,000 strong, joins me in congratulating all of the 2024 graduates and officially welcoming you into our alumni family, your infinite connection to MIT.
Thank you, Robert. And to all our speakers, President Kornbluth, Dr. Afeyan, Reverend Keith Lucas, Ms. Molina, Ms. Brandt, congratulations and best wishes to all of the families, friends, and of course the graduates of the class of 2024. The OneMIT Commencement Ceremony of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology is now concluded. At this time, would everyone please rise and join the choraries of MIT in singing the school song, followed by Take Me Back to Tech.
Differentiation of the trigonometric powers, the constant line that makes the stars, the o's and rocks. Hurrah for technology. Hurrah, technology. Hurrah, yes, oh, technology. Hurrah, technology. Oh, take me back, 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 take me back to tech. La 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 CHUSCTTS INSTITUTEOFTE embedded CHNOLOG and Y comes after G. It's the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Hey!
Good afternoon, everybody. we thank you for coming to today's ceremony. Please exit Killian Court through the Memorial Drive entrance tents. All building entrance doors are closed. Once again, please exit Killian Court through the Memorial Drive entrance tents. All building entrance doors are closed. Thank you again for coming.